Jenny Kassan here. I'm here to lay down the law for you about all the things you need to know about funding mission-driven businesses and doing it in creative ways on your own terms. And I wanted today to share about opportunity zones. Some people have heard of these, some people haven't, and it's a good thing to know about because it actually provides a huge tax benefit for investors if your business or the property, real estate that you want to develop is in an opportunity zone. So what is an opportunity zone? So you may have heard of other things like, gosh, I'm forgetting the names, but there have been other zones over the years, like economic empowerment zones. I think we had some of those in Oakland. Economic empowerment zones. Those were created under Bill Clinton, and they gave you certain access to certain funding. But opportunity zones are fairly new. They just got created under the Trump tax bill in 2017. And what happened was the states designated certain areas as opportunity zones, and it was really up to the states to decide what areas to designate, but basically they're lower income areas. It's a little bit random, like you'll see a low income area that is in an opportunity zone and another one that isn't, but it's easy to find on a map, or if you have an address you can find out if a certain place is in an opportunity zone or not. And so if a piece of real estate or a business is located in an opportunity zone or is moving into an opportunity zone, and someone makes an equity investment in that business through something called a qualified opportunity fund, the investors in that fund can get quite a nice tax break. And the way the tax break works, unfortunately, it's only available to people who have a capital gain. So let's say I own some stock. Let's say I bought some stock 10 years ago in Apple or something. And so my stock has appreciated quite a bit. The value has gone way up. If I sell that stock now, I get this huge amount of cash because my stock value has gone up so much, but there's a big tax on it called capital gains tax. And so if you happen to have appreciated property like that would be subject to a capital gains tax if you sell it, this gives you an opportunity to sell that property and defer and reduce your capital gains tax. So, unlike a normal situation, if I just sold that stock, I'd have to pay capital gains tax in that year on the full amount. But if I took the money that I made after I sold the stock and invested it in a qualified opportunity fund, I would defer the tax for many years, I think until 2026. And also the amount I would have to pay on the tax would be somewhat reduced. And on top of that, whatever I invest in, the capital gain I make on that investment, actually there's no tax at all. So it's quite a generous tax benefit. And there's some concern about this because basically there's a lot of, as you might know, like in many cities like Oakland, Seattle, Portland, New York, many cities are experiencing a problem that we call gentrification or displacement, because areas that have become, blighted and disinvested, now there's like a lot of young people that kind of want to move back into the city, and they're getting paid really well from a tech job maybe, and they can afford super high rents, and businesses maybe want to move back into the city. And so if you live in any of these cities, you've seen it, like a lot of displacement is happening. People that lived in that city their whole life, sometimes they're getting priced out, whether they're a business or like a resident who's renting. And so this new tax benefit called the Opportunity Zone program, it could really, really accelerate that process because it gives a tax break for anyone who was already planning to make investments in these kinds of areas. So, there's no requirement there's some requirement, like you can't just maybe put, like for example, you couldn't use that program to buy a piece of property and then just hold it. You do have to make improvements to the property. So the good news is there is that regulation that, you know, the properties within the opportunity zone are going to get fixed up. But there's no rules at all about who's going to benefit from that. So if somebody goes into an opportunity zone and invests in maybe like a hotel or a, you know, storage facility or luxury condos, the benefits of those investments are probably not necessarily going to accrue to a lot of the local businesses and residents. There's probably going to be displacement. So, so there's a lot of concern about opportunity zones, but the good news is if it's that tool in the right hands can actually do a lot of good. So I actually went ahead and decided to start a qualified opportunity fund. My colleague Michelle Timish and we actually launched this fund a few weeks ago. It's called Opportunity Main Street. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to be raising money from equity investors and investing that money into opportunity zones, but doing it in a way where we're making sure that the wealth stays in the community and benefits the people who already live there and already have small businesses there. So like our first model, we're working with some really great organizations, for-profit social enterprise and a nonprofit organization, both of whom are, their mission is to support young women and girls who are, you know, trying to get better jobs and build wealth for themselves and become activists and become more empowered. And so we're hoping to create a place where these organizations can have a really awesome place to operate their businesses. And our goal is that by the end of 10 years, we will help those organizations to get to the point where they can actually buy the real estate. So they will ultimately own the real estate. And we're going to cap the price at which they would buy the real estate. So if there is another big real estate bubble, they wouldn't be priced out of that market. So that's kind of our model. You know, we have we're really lucky to have some awesome organizations that will be the initial tenants in the first project that we do, but we're definitely looking at a lot of projects all over the country that might be a good fit for our model. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. And we're definitely on the lookout for others who are interested in using opportunity zones as a way to build community wealth instead of extract community wealth and cause more displacement and more gentrification. So if you know anyone who is interested in investing in an opportunity zone project, or anyone who has their own opportunity fund that is also has a similar vision and mission to ours, we would love to hear about them. We have a fear that, most of the investments that are going to happen under this under this opportunity zone legislation is actually not going to be beneficial to the communities where it's happening. I know there's people out there, like there's certain communities that are trying really hard to make sure that it's used for good. But, there's only so much like the local government can do. So, for example, the city of Oakland, which is the area that I've been looking at investing, they can't really regulate who comes in and does an opportunity zone project and what they do at that location. The zoning laws obviously regulate that, but as long as the project is within the zoning, the city can't say like, sorry, you can't do that project here because that's gonna cause gentrification. The law, these developers, property owners have the right to develop whatever is within the zoning, even if it's gonna end up causing displacement. So cities don't have a ton of control over how those opportunity zone investments happen. However, one thing Oakland is doing is they are offering for investments that actually end up creating a positive impact within Oakland, they are offering some incentives. They're saying, we will expedite your permit process, your entitlement process so that it'll be quicker and easier for you to get to the point where you can actually do the real estate development. So there's things cities can do to increase the chance that this program is actually used in a way that benefits communities. But my fear is that a lot of opportunity zone investments are actually going to be negative for the communities where they're located. And it's just going to continue this trend that we've been seeing of concentrating wealth in fewer and fewer hands. So we're on the lookout for anyone who is sympathetic to that point of view and would like to see opportunity zone investing used as a way to create community wealth. And of course, we don't think that the investors should just, not make a return on their investment. We obviously think that investors should make a return on their investment, but we just want to make sure it's not to the detriment of the community residents and small businesses. So please feel free to DM me or make a comment below if you have questions about opportunity zones or people you'd like to introduce us to who could be potential investors in Opportunity Main Street, which is our Qualified Opportunity Fund, or like-minded people who are working on setting up funds, or anyone who's just looking at this issue and has an interesting take on it. All right, bye.